शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरेन्द्र गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहम्। सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्.
So what you are seeing here is the auspicious days for the month of Panguni, Meena Masa or Panguni Masa for Plava Varsha, that is 2022. Panguni, these are some of the auspicious days. And in our series of auspicious days in Sanathana Dharma, we are going to see, what are the significance of these days and how to celebrate these days, because we did it last month and people really liked it. So we are going to continue the series for this month as well. So the Masa Parappu Panguni Masam Parakkaradu, it happens on the March 14th Monday. The Sankramana, Meena Sankramana, as I said in the last session, the Tamil month, as we call it, begins with the transit of sun, Surya, from one Rasi to another Rasi. So last month it was in Kumbha Rasi, Suryan. For Panguni Masa, it is going to transition into the Meena Rasi. That is why this Masa is also called as Meena Masam. In Kerala, Meena Masam abin solva. And the very first day, the Sankramana itself is a great Punyakala. I have told people it is one of the 5 Parva days that has to be celebrated. It is also a Pitru Dinam. Some people will do Tarpanam on all the Masa Sankramanam day. On all the month, the first day of the month, they do Tarpanam. So that is one of the importance of the Sankramana day. The Sankramana day itself, it is very, very auspicious. We have to chant, Surya Namaskaram, Aditya Hridayam. When we chant all these shlokas on the Sankramana day, it gives us lots of benefits. Suryan is said to be Arogya Karaka. Arogyam Bhaskaradicchet, says Shastra. If you want Arogyam, if you want health, then sun has to be worshipped. And Sankramana day, the Masa Parappu day, is a great day in order to worship Surya. And for this month, Panguni, the Sankramana day is important for another reason, because that is when we celebrate something called as Karadayan Nombu. It is also called as Savitri Vratam. It is also called as Kamakshi Vratam. A lot of people know the importance of Karadayan Nombu. So I'm not going to go into the backstory of Karadayan Nombu because everybody knows. I will just outline. There was a woman called as Savitri, and for some reason, it was predestined. It was predestined that the husband is going to die on such and such day. Yamadharma Raja came. They were in a forest. Yamadharma Raja came, and then Yamadharma, he took the life of her husband, Satyavan. Satyavan, the husband oda per. He took Satyavan's life, and Savitri, because of her intelligence, she got back Satyavan from death. Remember, this is something that even Krishna said he will not do. In Bhagavatam and Mahabharata, there were a lot of babies, right, before Krishna. And all the babies were killed by Kamsa. So, Devaki, she wanted to see all the babies, previous babies. Krishna said, no, I won't bring them back. I don't have the powers to bring them back. He says something like that. But Savitri, because of her intelligence, she brought back her husband from death. We celebrated Women's Day, earlier this month, and according to our Shastra, every day is Women's Day. And there is a Veda Pramana which I came to know recently, that in the Vedas it is said that the intelligence of women is 4 times that of men. There is a Veda Pramana for that. I will tell the Veda Vakya later. But this is what the Veda Shloka says. The intelligence of women is 4 times that of men. So every day is Women's Day in our Shastra, according to our Shastra in Sanathana Dharma. And we celebrate the Savitri Vrata, all the Suvasinis, all the Sumangalis, they celebrate this Karadaya Nombu on the Sankramana day, the Masa Parapu day of Meena Masa. So they make something called as adai, uppu adai, vella adai, and they keep some vennai, they keep some butter, etc. This is not a cooking class, so I'm not going to go into the recipe details. I'm pretty sure we all will know. There are a lot of resources in YouTube how to make this thing, how to celebrate Karadaya Nombu. But there is one thing that I wanted to talk about Karadaya Nombu is when to celebrate, when to do the puja, because this is something which is very important. And this nirnaya, the nirnaya is the process where you will decide on when to do something. This nirnaya is different for different vratas. For example, Shankadahara Chaturthi. When should I celebrate Shankadahara Chaturthi? According to Shastra, it says, whenever you have Chaturthi during the moonrise day, moonrise time. Whenever there is Chaturthi Tithi, the day when the Chaturthi Tithi is presides over the moonrise time, that day has to be celebrated as Shankadahara Chaturthi. But for Pradosham, it is different. For Kritika, it is different. For Sashti, it is different. So the Tithi Nirnaya will be different. The Punyakala Nirnaya is different for different festivals. And Karadaya Nombu is where there are some issues going on. Even in India, mostly the issues are in India. In the US, it is not a lot of issue as in India. So what is the Nirnaya? How should I celebrate Karadaya Nombu? When should I celebrate Karadaya Nombu? It is said that you have to sit for the puja during the month of Masi. You have to start the puja in the Masi month, and you have to finish the puja in the Panguni month. That is what it is said in Shastras. You have to start the puja in the month of Masi. You have to finish the puja in the month of Panguni. Okay, then when at 12 a.m., because normally we only see, January 1, abdina, December 31 is there up until 11:59 p.m. And then 12 a.m. January 1 starts. So we have to, should we do the puja in the midnight? No. According to Shastra, as I said before, the month begins the moment sun transits from one Rasi to another Rasi, right? So for this year, for the month of Panguni, for the EST time zone, New York time zone, the Sankramana happens at 2:15 p.m. Monday, March 14th, 2:15, the Sankramana happens. Sun transits from Kumbha Rasi to Meena Rasi. So we have to start the puja before 2:50, probably 2:05, 2:10, you have to start the puja. And this puja does not take a lot of time. So you have to finish the puja after 2:15, like 2:20 or 2:25, you have to finish the puja. That is the proper way to celebrate. Now the problem happens in India, where the Sankramana happens in the night. After 10 p.m. or so, the Sankramana happens. And we cannot do puja late that night. There is a time for everything to happen. Ambal will get Ugrakala after night, they said. So you cannot do puja, any puja in the midnight or so. So what do people in India have to do? Shastra says, if things like that happen, then you can finish the entire puja in the month of Masi itself. So in India, people have suggested that you do puja 8 p.m. 8 மணிக்கு ராத்திரி 8 மணிக்கே பூஜையை முடிச்சிடுங்க அப்படின்றோம். ஏன்னா மறுநாள் கார்த்தால பங்குனி வந்துடுறது. கார்த்தால ஆஃப்டர் 6 AM Panguni is already there. So you cannot do puja in the Panguni day. It has to be on the Masi day. Masi கயிறு பாசி பிடிக்கும்லாம் சொல்லுவா. It is said that, you know, if you have this Mangal Sutra in the month of Masi, if you change the, if you have the Saradu in the month of Masi, you know, it will be long lasting, says. So that is why people in India, they have to celebrate Karadaya Nombu on the previous day, in the Masi month itself. They said that you have to do the puja at 8 PM, 7 PM or 8 PM, you know, as close to the Sankramana, but it is not too late. Before 9 PM, you have to do the puja, it is said in India. For people in the US, it is not a problem. For most of the people in the US, it is not a problem because the Sankramana happens at least for EST at 2:15 PM. So you can do puja before 2:15 PM, like 2:05 or 2:10, you can start the puja and then you can finish the puja after the Sankramana happens. Now 2 questions come. What about food? Because they said that, you know, some people, they observe fasting up until the Karadaya Nombu finishes. So people in the US and people in India, they will ask, okay, what can I eat? Because in the US, at least it is 2:05 PM. So you can eat at 3 PM or so. In India, the puja will happen at 8 PM. So what can I eat? It is said that you have to fast, but Shastra also says that Suvasinis should not fast. Shastra says that because Ambal is always present in Suvasinis, Suvasini, Suvasini Prita, Lalita Sahasranamathla varudhu. They cannot do any Nirjala Upavasa, says Shastra. There are some exceptions, but this is the rule. They cannot not eat anything. Vatta pasiyoda irukradungiradhu Suvasinigalukku kedaiyadhu. So they can eat some palahara, they can eat some fruits. For milk, there is no dosha. You can drink some milk. You can eat some fruits. You can eat some non-pattu items, like chapati without salt, all those things, or kanchi you can eat, or without any rice people can eat. This is according to one's own family tradition. So consult with your elders as to what they do, because I'm pretty sure this has happened before. So for folks in India, what can I eat before the Karadaya Nombu? You can consult with your elders, but you can eat some fruits, you can eat some salad, you can drink some milk, you can drink some juice, you can have some kanji, you can have some rotis, or you can even have some upma. It is upma or puri for tiffin items. It is not a problem. Now the next problem, it is for people in the US. What about working people? So the puja has to be done at 2:05 PM, 2:05 PM EST time. For people working from home, it should not be a problem because they can take, this puja does not take a lot of time. They can take about 10 minutes or half an hour break from the work, and then they can do the puja at home if you are working from home. But if I'm not working from home, I have to go to office. When should I do puja? Should I do puja after I come back from the office? Because the puja is said to be done at 2:05 PM. I cannot do at 2:05. Can I do my puja after 5 PM or 6 PM? So again, the rule is you have to start the puja when Panguni is present. So try hard to do the puja at the appropriate time. That is always the first paksha. You can take some time off or something. But if none of them is possible, then it is better to do puja on Monday morning, because Monday morning it is Panguni. Monday evening, if you do puja at 5 PM, it is going to be Monday morning it is going to be Masi. Monday evening it is going to be Panguni, at least for EST time. So it is better to do puja in the Masi day. Monday morning it is going to be still be Masi. So you can finish the puja and go to office and then come back. So this is what I can tell. For people who are in the US, who are working, who cannot take time off when to do puja, you can do puja in the Monday morning. So that is about Karadaya Nombu. And another thing is that people think Karadaya Nombu is only for Suvasinis. It is true, the nombu is for Suvasinis, but that day it is very, very auspicious for Kamakshi Puja. Any type of Kamakshi Puja, that day is very, very auspicious. In fact, a couple of years ago, probably 7 to 8 years ago, there was even a Facebook live from Srimatam. I don't know if it was Facebook live or Facebook video or YouTube video, where Balapariya himself was chanting Muka Panchashati on the Karadaya Nombu day. So Karadaya Nombu day, that day, it is very, very auspicious to do any Kamakshi Puja. So people who cannot do Karadaya Nombu, they can do Kamakshi Puja, they can chant Kamakshi Stotras, they can do Archana for Kamakshi, they can do Archana, they can do Parayanam of Muka Panchashati, they can do Parayanam of Lalita Sahasranam, etc. on that day. So that is about the Karadaya Nombu. Now, March 15th, Tuesday, it is going to be the Aradhana day of Sri Jayendra Saraswati Swamigal. Aradhana day of Jayendra Saraswati Swamigal falls on March 15th, Tuesday. We all know Puduperiva is the 69th Mathadipati of the unbroken chain of Moolamnaya Kanchi Kamakoti Peetam. The Peetam was established by Adi Shankaracharya himself 2500 years ago. And there is an unbroken chain of successors. There is no break. There is an unbroken chain of successors starting from Adi Shankaracharya up until Mahaperiva, Jayendra Periva, and Vijayendra Periva. Jayendra Saraswati Swamigal, he's a great Acharya, 69th Acharya, chosen by our Mahaperiva himself. And he has done a lot for Srimatam and he has done a lot for Sanatana Dharma. Mahaperiva says, our Matha, that is the Kanchi Kamakoti Matha, it was spiritually strong, but financially weak before Jayendra Periva's time. The Matha had got lots of tapasvis. Mahaperiva himself is a living example. But it was financially weak. And Mahaperiva says, only after Jayendra Periva came, Jayendra Periva is considered to be Mahalakshmi Swarupam. Abdine Mahaperiva solra. Mahalakshmi Kataksham Paripurnama irundirukku solra. It is only after Jayendra Periva came to Pattam, the Matha started to have financial inflow. And with the money, they started doing a lot of good things, lot of free hospitals, lot of free schools, lot of temples are built, lot of educational institutions are supported by our Sri Mata. All these were possible because of Jayendra Periva. And Mahaperiva says, I am the Icha Shakti. Jayendra Periva is Kriya Shakti. I do the Sankalpa. Mahaperiva will do the Sankalpa that, okay, this should happen. All these Veda Pandits has to be supported. But you need to have money and you need to have an able administrator to do all those things, right? And it was Jayendra Periva who brought in resources to the project because Mahaperiva has supported lot of Vedic scholars, lot of traditional scholars. All these has to be supported. Now we know in corporate thing, you always look for where do you get your resources and then you start the project, right? But in the case of Sri Mata, it is always the opposite. They will always start the project and then the resources will come. It is because of the grace of Jayendra Periva. It is because of the Sankalpam of Mahaperiva. So Mahaperiva says, okay, I am the Icha Shakti. I will only do the Sankalpa and I can give my blessings. But it was Jayendra Periva who actually realized my Sankalpa, says Mahaperiva to a lot of people. So Jayendra Periva is that much great. And he was the living example of all the Atma gunas that were said in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Tulya ninda stutir mauni, anapamanayoho samam pashyati. All these things, we can see how all these things were there theoretically in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And Jayendra Periva has shown us how to live that life. Sthita prajnaha, how to live like a Sthita prajna. Jayendra Periva has shown. It is like a practical class for all the Vedantic students. So his Jayanti is going to come. Upanishad says, Atmagyam hi archayet bhuti kamaha. Why should we do puja for all the sannyasis? If I do puja for Bhagavan, if I do puja for Mahalakshmi, she is going to give me money. If I do puja for Saraswati, she is going to give me jnana. If I pray to Mahavishnu or Parameshwara, they are going to give you moksha. If I pray to Surya, he is going to give me arogya. Because they are the embodiment of moksha, they are the embodiment of arogya, they are the embodiment of money, they are the embodiment of knowledge. Now, why should I worship a sannyasi? Because sannyasi by definition should not have anything, right? Sannyasi by definition, he should not have anything. He has already renounced everything. He does not have anything to give. Why should I worship sannyasi? Upanishad itself says, Atmajnam hi archayet bhuti kamaha. They are Atmajnas. They have renounced all the worldly possessions, but what they have obtained the great Brahma Tattvam itself. They have realized the Brahman in themselves. Atmajnaha. They are called as Atmajnaha, the realizer of the Brahma Vastu. Bhuti kamaha. Even if you want money, if you worship sannyasi, money will come. Says Upanishads. I am not saying Smriti. It is not a Smriti Vakya. It is a Veda Vakya. It has got a lot of balam. So, Atmajnam hi archet bhuti kamaha. If they can give money, if they can give you moksha, what about money? Money and all is nothing. So, that is why you have to do puja for the Guru Parampara. And March 15th, Tuesday, it is also a Pradosham day. Pudu Periyava has never missed a Pradosham puja in his entire life. He always comes to our Srimatam and does puja for Mahaperiyava's Adhishthanam on Pradosham day. And it is so apt that his Aradhana day also comes on the Pradosham day. And all the other things of, all the other achievements of Jayendra Periyava is beautifully outlined in his Ashtotram. We will share a link. So we have made a recording of Jayendra Periyava's Ashtotram in multiple scripts with meanings in English. I have chanted it. We will share the recording of Jayendra Periyava's Ashtotram. If we go through the Ashtotram, you can realize how much achievement he has done with no publicity. So we will all celebrate Jayendra Periyava's Aradhana Day on March 15th and get the blessings of the Guru Parampara. And March 18th, Friday, is going to be Panguni Utram. In fact, Mahaperiyava says, why does the month Panguni has got the name Panguni? Have you ever wondered? Okay, Chitrai, Vaigasi, Ani, Adi, Avani, Puratasi, அப்படின்லாம் சொல்றோம். அந்த மாசத்தோட பேர் எதுல இருந்து வந்தது? Why do those months got the name that they have? Mahaperiyava explains in Daivathan Kural. This is why we have to read Daivathan Kural. It is a treasure of all. It is an encyclopedia of Sanathana Dharma, I would say. So Mahaperiyava says the Tamil months are named so depends upon the tithi, the nakshatra in which Paurnami happens. The nakshatra in which Paurnami happens. Chitra is named so because the Paurnami day comes on Chitra nakshatra. That is why the month is called as Chitrai. Vaigasi, Vaishaka. Vaishaka அப்படிங்கிறதுடைய corrupt form தான் Vaikashi, says Mahaperiyava. Like that, he has derived the entire, he has derived the meanings, the names for all the 12 months in Tamil calendar. So Panguni, Phalguni, Uttara Phalguni, Purva Phalguni. So in the rendu nakshatrathla Panguni nakshatram, Panguni thithi varadanaal da in the masathike Panguni nu peru. And the Phalguni is a corrupt form of Phalguna. Uttara Phalguni, Purva Phalguni. The Phalgunathunuடைய corrupt form da Panguni, says Mahaperiyava. So Panguni Uttaram happens on March 18th. March 17th is Paurnami, Purva Phalguni Nakshatra. March 18th is Panguni Uttaram, Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra. And Panguni Uttaram is very famous for marriages. In fact, all the divine marriages happened on Panguni Uttaram day. Shiva Parvati Kalyanam, Lakshmi Mahavishnu Kalyanam, Murugan Kalyanam. So all the Kalyanams happens on Panguni Uttaram day. In fact, in Srirangam, it is the only day in 365 days where you can see Perumal and Tayar together. all the 364 days, Namperumal will be separate, Tayar will be separate. In Shiva temple, Ambal and Parameshwara will always be together. You cannot see Parameshwara apart from Ambal. Even Pradoshanayaka, Ambal will be there. Somaskandamurti, Ambal will be there. Nadaraja, Shivagami will be there. So all the form of Parameshwara, Ambal will always be there together. But in Vishnu temple, in Sriranga especially, Namperumal and Tayar will not be together. Namperumal is the Utsavar. Namperumal and Tayar will not be together. Only on Panguni Uttram day, Namperumal and Tayar will be together. Serthi Kandarulvadu, in Sri Vaishnava Paribhasha, they call that festival as Panguni Uttram Serthi. Serthi na Serkai, joining, right? And it is supposed to be very, very auspicious to worship Namperumal and Tayar together on the Panguni Uttram day, because it only happens once in a day, once in a year, right? So it is very, very auspicious for divine marriages. And the palan is people who have marital problems, if they worship Parameshwara and Parvati, or Narayana and Mahalakshmi, or Subramanya along with his consort, or Radha and Krishna, the palan of worshipping the deities, as a couple, is whatever the marital problems we have, all those things will be solved, says palam of Panguni Uttara Puja day. So that Panguni Uttram happens on March 18th. So we can all do puja for either Parvati Parameshwara or Narayana and Mahalakshmi or Namperumal and Tayar, and get the abundant benefits on the Panguni Uttram day. March 23rd, March 22nd and 23rd is Anusham. We do puja for Mahaperiva on Anusham. We do Avahanti Homam or just Anusham Puja la Naraya Pandrom. Because Anuradha is present on Tuesday, March 22nd, Anuradha has already started. And Anuradha is present, Anusham is present up until 9:22 a.m. on March 23rd, Wednesday. So we can do puja either on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending upon your convenience. One special thing about March 23rd, Wednesday, is that it is also a Wednesday, a Budan Karamai. So Shastra says whenever Budan Karamai and Anuradha Nakshatram happens, whenever Wednesday and Anuradha Nakshatram happens, it is a Punyakala called as Budhanurata Punyakala. Budhanurata Punyakala. Budam and Anuradha Nakshatra together happens. It is called as Budhanurata Punyakala. It is one of the Amrita Siddhi Yogas. So we have shared a link earlier about what are the Amrita Siddhi Yogas for this whole 2022. We have shared the link before. So it is a combination of certain nakshatra and tithi. Certain nakshatra and tithi combination is said to be Amrita Siddhi Yoga, and Budhanurada is one of the Amrita Siddhi Yoga. And March 23rd, this month has got two Amrita Siddhi Yogas, Budhanurada and Bhrugurevati. Budhanurada happens on March 23rd before 9:22 a.m. and Bhrugurevati falls on April 1st, Friday. Whole day is Bhrugurevati. So those 2 days are very, very important to do any puja. Whatever puja that we do, it is going to give us Amritamana Phalan. It is going to give us a lot of auspicious phalams, says Shastra. So we can do any special puja. We can do, if we do Anusha Puja, Ravanti Homam on March 23rd, Wednesday morning before 9:22 a.m. EST. It is very, very auspicious. And Friday, April 1st, Friday, it is also Amrita Siddhi Yoga. It is also Yugadi, Telugu Varsha Parapabdimbo for Telugu people, for people who follow Chandramana calendar. It is Ugadi. It is their New Year day. And it is also the day where Vasanta Navaratri starts. There are 4 Navaratris in a year. The Navaratri that we all know is Sharada Navaratri. It happens in the Puratasi Masam, where we do Golu and all. But that is not the only Navaratri. There are 4 Navaratris. Earlier we celebrated Magha Navaratri earlier this year in the month of Magha month, Masi. Thai and Masi, we celebrated Magha Navaratri. It is also called as Matangi Navaratri in Solva. And the next Navaratri is going to be Chaitara Navaratri or Vasanta Navaratri, that starts from April 1st and it ends with Sri Ramanavami. And the next Navaratri is Ashada Navaratri or Varahi Navaratri. It is important for Varahi Devi. And after that is Sharada Navaratri for Durga Lakshmi Saraswati. So what is the speciality about this Navaratri? It is Chaitra Navaratri. This Navaratri goes by many names. It is called as Vasanta Navaratri because it marks the beginning of Vasanta Rutu. Vasanta Rutu is a season. There are 6 seasons according to traditional Indian calendar. And this Navaratri marks the beginning of Vasanta Ritu. That's why it is called as Vasanta Navaratri. It is also called as Chaitra Navaratri because it falls on the month of Chaitra. It is not Tamil Chitra month, but it is Telugu Chaitra Masa. So it is called as Chaitra Navaratri. It is also called as Lalita Navaratri because the first Magha Navaratri is celebrated for Matangi Devi, Meenakshi Devi. Sharada Navaratri is for Durga Lakshmi Saraswati. Ashada Navaratri is for Varahi Devi. And this Navaratri is for Lalita Devi. So Lalita Parabhattarikaku, Lalita Sahasranamam, Lalita Trishati, இதெல்லாம் இந்த நவராத்திரியில சொன்னா ரொம்ப புண்ணியம். So this Navaratri begins on April 1st and it ends with Sri Ramanavami. This Navaratri is also called as Rama Navaratri because the end day is going to be Sri Ramanavami and people will do Ramayana Navaham. People will start the Ramayana Parayanam on April 1st on the Prathama day, on the Ugadi day, and then it will go on, it will end on Sri Ramanavami day. So doing Ramayana Navaham, chanting Samkshepa Ramayanam, or at least chanting Sundarakandam. There is a 9-day Vidhanam for Sundarakandam. So chanting Sundarakandam, chanting Lalita Sahasranamam, chanting Saundarya Lahari, chanting Lalita Trishati, all these are very, very important for, very, very auspicious to do in the Vasanta Navaratri or Chaitra Navaratri day. The important day in the Vasanta Navaratri is Lalita Panchami. நம்ம வந்து விஜயதசமி, மகாநவமி அப்படிங்கிறது very, very important for Sharada Navaratri. Vasanta Panchami is important for Magha Navaratri. In the same way, Lalita Panchami is important for this Lalita Navaratri or Vasanta Navaratri. And that Lalita Panchami happens on April 5th, Tuesday. It is very, very easy to remember. April 1 is Prathamai, April 9th is Navami, April 5 is Panchami. So Lalita Panchami abdin irukku. If people cannot do Lalita Sahasranama Archane or Lalita Trishati Archane on all the 9 days, at least doing that on the Panchami day, on the Lalita Panchami day is very, very important. And April 9th is Sri Ramanavami. I don't have to tell you how to celebrate Sri Ramanavami. Everybody knows. You know, we make Neermor, we make Panagam. Another important thing to be done on Sri Ramanavami, which people normally don't do, overlook, is to do something called as Viraidhana. Whenever a male child is born in a family, they do dhanam of grains, unbroken grains, like நெல்லு, பயறு, முழு பயறு, முழு உளுந்து, அதெல்லாம் வந்து கொடுப்பா. ஏன்னா வம்சம் விருத்தி ஆகிறது அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக. Because all these things can sprout and then they can lead to another crop, right? So அந்த வரதானம் அப்படிங்கிறது பண்ணுவா. ஸ்ரீராமநவமிக்கு நம்ம அந்த வரதானம்ங்கிறது பண்ணணும். You know, you can do mudga, you can do moong dal, you can do whole. It has to be whole. It has to be a grain which can sprout. You have to give that as a dana. You know, நவதானியம் கொடுக்கலாம், மூங் தால் கொடுக்கலாம், முழு கோதுமை கொடுக்கலாம், முழு நெல்லு கொடுக்கலாம். நெல்லு தான் வந்து நம்ம தமிழ்நாட்டுல எல்லாம் கொடுப்பா, நெல்லை கொடுக்கலாம். ஸோ அதெல்லாம் வந்து வரதானம் பண்றதுங்கிறது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப விசேஷம். இன்னைக்கு ஒரு பிரம்மச்சாரிய கூப்பிட்டு அந்த பிரம்மச்சாரிக்கு வரதானம் பண்றது ரொம்ப ரொம்ப விசேஷம். And other things to be done in this month, you know, because Ugadi starts, right? So for Telugu people already the Vasanta Ritu has already started. So and in India it is going to be so hot, so people will do dhanam of things like umbrella, visiri, fan, chappal, இதெல்லாம் வந்து தானம் பண்ணுவா. So doing dhanam of all these things, it is said to be very, very auspicious. either on Ugadi day or on any day, because it is going to be summer all throughout, doing தண்ணீர் பந்தல் வைக்கிறது, மோர் தானம் கொடுக்கிறது, இதெல்லாம் வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப விசேஷம், because it is going to be so hot in India. If we can go to India, do all these dhanams, it's good. At least we can contribute towards that dhanam in India, because it is said to be very, very auspicious. And then the next important thing happens is April 13th and 14th. April 13th is going to be the Sankramana. Sankramana happens on April 13th. But April 14th, it is going to be Tamil New Year Day. It is going to be Vishu Punya Kalam. We will be having one more session before that. So we will see all the auspicious days, what to do on April 14th. We will see at that time. But these are the auspicious days that happens in the month of Panguni, Tamil Panguni or Meena Masa. So again, I'm going to share my screen. You can take a screenshot of this image. We will also share this in WhatsApp group. We will put a link for this in YouTube video as well, so that this could be like a ready reckoner for all the festival that happens in the month of Panguni. We have we just had a bird's eye view as to how to celebrate all these festivals. We have not gone into any detail, but I hope this will be useful for all of you guys. One thing to remember, as I said before, all these festivals, all these dates are valid for people who are living in the EST time zone, the New York time zone. For all the other people, the dates might change, but how you celebrate those things does not change, but the days and dates might change. So please refer to your local Panchangam or contact your local priest for getting the most accurate information on when to celebrate these days. So the important festivals are Karadaya Nombu, Puduperiva's Aradhana, and we have Anusham Buddhanurada, and the most important festival is Vasanta Navaratri. It starts. So all the 9 days, it is going to be very auspicious to do any puja, any parayanams, all these things. It is going to be very, very auspicious. So we will be chanting Devi Mahatmyam as usual on all the 9 days, starting from April 1 to April 9. We will be chanting Devi Mahatmyam. It will be probably 6:30 a.m. EST in the same Zoom link. 6:30 a.m. EST. We will share. I will share the invite later. When April 1 is nearing, I will share the invite. But there is going to be Parayanam of Devi Mahatmyam on all the 9 days. There is also going to be, we are planning for a Parayanam of Arya Shatakam on one of these days, depending upon Periyava's convenience. We have requested Periyava to be present in the Arya Shatakam chanting. We are teaching Arya Shatakam to all the kids. So as many people who can chant Arya Shatakam, they can participate in the chanting. We'll try to give everybody a chance to chant, to Zoom light, to highlight and chant. So we will also share that information, once those dates are nearing. We are still working out with Sri Matam to get Periyava's convenience days. If possible, Periyava might come and grace the occasion. So we will see how all those things go. But this is it for the month of Panguni. So stay safe, have blessed Panguni. We will see in the next month. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.